Hey, Bougie Gang, what's going on? Hey, everybody, how's it going? How's it going? It's never anything good when you see the googly eyes. Okay. Yes. I'm back sort of. I wasn't live earlier today. I've been trying to keep up on what's going on. It's like it's a lot going on out here. Um, and then I took Farah to get some sushi. I was having printer issues earlier this week. Who's using their printer? I don't use my printer often, but I had to print out that form for the 24th district. Was it the 24th? Girl, yes, 24th district, to get that transcript that we're waiting for. And I had to print that out. I had to run down to the post office, get a money order, and send them the money, put it in the mail, which I did do that, thank goodness. So, we just got to keep up on everything. I'm hoping it's not just like one page. I'm sure it's got to be more than just a couple pages, but it'll be, you know, we'll at least know what happened because I haven't seen anything on the news. So okay. Guys, we are here to talk about Afeni Muhammad. She actually had court. I did record this earlier, so you may see another video dropping, kind of a reaction, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, I just feel like when I listened to this recording, it was so much louder and more clear. You guys won't fault me for dropping the other video. We'll just do this one live. I was just watching your live from earlier. Thank you, boo. Um, so yeah, this is really so she had her arraignment. Now, what I'm gonna say, which I don't know everything about Macomb County, I don't, but DeAndre Booker, the man who's being held responsible for the murder and disappearance of Ashley Elkins. It's been hard to keep up with what's going on in that case. So that's where Miss Ma'am is located. She is over there and she's going to be she's in Macomb County. So we're going to see how that goes. But anyway, ma'am is in deep she's in trouble. She's in very much deep trouble and her Instagram feed is a fool. One of you guys in the comments was like, "Fran, go back to the one with her with a picture of a phoenix on her back." And I did, and I'm just like, "My god." We'll go back through her Instagram when we're finished with the hearing. Also, y'all's good ma'am from Pontiac. It's ma'am from Pontiac, the lady who abandoned her 3 kids for 3 to 5 years, Kelly Marie Bryant. She was in court yesterday with some mess. They're getting ready to start pretrial on her. So it was a brief hearing and I did record a video for that. I was busy earlier today, guys. I wasn't just like not working. I was trying to keep up on everything and record some videos for you guys. But I said, you know what, this afternoon, let's just go ahead and go and do this live because this is just this too much. Okay. Um, anyway, let's get into it. Let me share my screen. First of all, before we do anything, let me say hi to everybody. Plant Lover, what's good? Shelly, what's good? Sunflowers, what's good? Honorable mention to my boo thing. Bible, hey boo. Plant Lady, what's good? Shelly, Sunflowers, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. This week went so fast. I can't believe it's another weekend already. This is pretty crazy. I just cannot. Everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. Make sure if you are not subscribed, you're just passing through. Don't make it a pass through or a drive by. Make sure to hit subscribe and make sure to set your notifications to all if you enjoy keeping up with what's going on, okay, and staying caught up. If you want to know what's going on and you want to stay caught up, make sure to subscribe, set your notifications, and boom, when I go live or post something, you're going to be notified ASAP, okay? Okay. Let me share my screen and let's get into it. It's going fast. I hope this one, the sound is so much better. I just feel like the sound in my first recording was not amazing. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just I'll just drop the other one just in case I said something that I don't say in this one and vice versa. But it's gonna be all right. Okay. Because everyone doesn't tune into lives anyway. Can you believe it? Like the thought that some people don't watch live streams, but they don't. Some people enjoy a shorter form video. So that will work just fine for them. Anyway, okay, I see you, Jackson Tabasco, Jay Blake. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for putting in that work. Thank you, Candy. Thank you. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you. Let me drop some coins on you. Thank you. Okay, let's get into it, guys. I'm going to try to minimally interrupt. This is the arraignment of the young lady who, girl, she went to task on this woman, this poor lady who was just doing her job. I don't know where it went left with the two of them, but no matter how left it went, nobody deserves to get what she got. Also those children. She has 6 children and awful, okay? Hey one Jennifer, hey boo. I'm gonna just it's only 10 minutes. Let's let it run through and then you know how that always goes. I always end up breaking in, but let's just try and we'll run it through one more time, okay? Please approach for the swear to. It happened today. I think this happened right at 1:00, just as me and Farrah were leaving out the house. So this happened just a couple hours ago, okay? And this is MACOMB County Courthouse. It is a suburb of Detroit. This happened over on 9 Mile and something. I can't remember the cross street, but it happened in the Eastpointe area, in a suburb of Detroit. Okay. You guys can't hear? Oh gosh. Hey, princess. Oh, you can hear it now that I turned it off. That's so odd. Okay, let's do a check. Let's do a 1-2 checker. This is crazy. So, what did you I hear everything, y'all. Hold on. That's from my phone. Okay, so anybody who's having, let me just say this, anybody who's having some audio issues, just exit, don't even just exit the chat, exit the whole entire app and come back, okay? Just do it very fast. I'm sure, you know, if it's glitching on that, it's going to glitch on something else. So if you need to, we're going to wait for you for one. Hurry up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Hopefully they're back and they're engaging the app again. It froze or something. Okay. Yeah, it's bad. Okay, so let's start it. We're just a minute in. We'll just start it again, but we're going to watch it through one time uninterrupted, and then we're going to come back and then we'll just chop it up, break it down, and then we'll dip over to Ma'am's Instagram, and it's a mess. We did dip over there earlier in the first video that I did. Um, Plant lover, thank you, honey. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you so much for supporting. And welcome to our new friend. We had a new friend in the chat who said she just subscribed. Thank you, Miss Princess Diana Royale. I appreciate you so much, hon. Okay. All right, let's get into it, guys. So this happened today at 1 o'clock. Anyone who's just coming in, this is the arraignment of the young lady who went in on the single mom of 6 children doing her job 15 years in at McDonald's, a manager. I'm sure dealing with lots of different personalities and trying to get us our food. Okay. On top of that, deliver a good product, and you got all kinds of employees, including this freak who was taking everything personal. Okay. All right. Let me, okay. Ma'am is a mess. Okay. So we heard a lot of information there. Okay. First of all, I see some of you guys are saying that, you know, she should plead insanity, all of those things. I don't even know if that is even applicable anymore. Even if the person, because, you know, there's plenty of insane people in prisons right now. She can plead insanity all she wants. If she's not competent, they will sit her in some sort of ward, some sort of mental hospital until she is able to stand. They're not, you don't get off anymore. Um, so what I heard the judge say is that she had a aggravated malicious wounding in Virginia. So of course I just looked it up. Now I don't have her record in front of me, but I just Googled aggravated malicious wounding in Virginia, and it said if any person, and this is for Virginia, they said if any person maliciously shoots, stabs, cuts, or wounds any other person or by any means causes bodily injury with the intent to maim, disfigure, disable, or kill, he shall be guilty of a class 2 felony if the victim is thereby severely injured and is caused to suffer permanent or significant physical impairment. So this is just a general, you know, I'm not exactly sure which statute she was convicted of, because it sounds like that's what they initially charged her with, and then they gave her something else. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because this is her second time. This is her second time to stab someone. So the first time they pled it down to a lower charge, she probably took a guilty, went on her way, and now she's in Michigan. She was in Virginia, now she's in Michigan, and she's up to her shenanigans again. Clearly, she is mentally not stable because what did they say? So she wasn't performing her work duties. Okay. That's probably according to the witnesses, the other people on the shift. Jennifer told her to go home. She wasn't performing her work duties. Who knows? Maybe when she clocked out, sometimes supervisors or managers have to put notes in the system. Maybe she was documenting her. Sis could have been on a PIP for all we know. Okay. So they let her go early. She wasn't performing her duties. This is the second day in a row that they've had to have her clock out. And then ma'am is going to her Instagram and talking shit about what happened, and which she's going to live to regret now because, but you know, it's good for the case because they have more hindsight now to try to determine what a motive was. And obviously she's disgruntled, on top of the fact that there probably is some mental illness there, but mental illness does not allow you to go. I mean, it might be a reason to explain, but it's not a reason to give somebody a pass. So, you know, people who are not competent, they're just going to end up in a mental hospital for a very long time. Okay, let's just listen real quick. But the police officer, this is the detective who basically gives a high level rundown of what happened. And so anybody who comes through, if you don't want talking over this hearing, that's fine. Scroll all the way back to the beginning, and that's where it shall be. This right now, we're going to.
Yes, Your Honor. 7/10/25, McDonald's employee Afeni Muhammad stabbed McDonald's manager Jennifer Harris multiple times with a kitchen knife at the McDonald's restaurant.
They said it was possibly 15 times. And what they didn't say too is that the majority of the wounds were to the face. If you can believe that's which is who does that? It's even hard to like not even I wouldn't say process. It's just she stabbed her in her face. I mean, almost 15 times. Girl.
At 179219 mile. Harris was not armed at the time and died of her injuries. Prior to the stabbing, Muhammad was sent home by Harris for not performing her work duties.
She was sent home for not performing her work duties.
Harris, I'll be back.
And then she says, I'll be back. Okay. I would have taken that as a threat, but maybe she wasn't thinking it was a threat, unfortunately. Like, oh, okay, you'll be back. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. She might not have been thinking because, you know, I'm sure McDonald's stays busy. Even when it's not busy, there's stuff to do. Put away stock, clean up the restaurant. There's probably always a job to be done. The fact that this girl is being sent home and you're on the schedule means that you're not helping at all. You're a hindrance, and you're probably taking time away from people being able to accomplish goals and tasks rather than be useful. So it's easier to send you home, have one less person on shift because you're that much of a bother.
Wow. Harris was not armed at the time and died of her injuries.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it. I have to find it. I saw it. I feel like I saw it yesterday. And I was like, is that them fighting? But it was really super brief. Letting her wear her wig. I have no idea. I thought you couldn't wear wigs like that in jail, but maybe it's glued on. I don't know, girl. I'm just surprised they didn't take her wig off because they sure took off Kelly Bryant's.
Who does appear to be
She could possibly have confessed, but that doesn't mean that she's pleading guilty. She could say, well, I stabbed her, but I'm not guilty, even though that sounds insane, but she is, right? That's one thing. Number two, she could say, I was being bullied. I was under duress. I came to work drunk. I didn't know what I was doing. There's extenuating circumstances there. You know what I mean? She could already be trying to formulate a defense as to why. And there's multiple eyewitnesses, whether she confessed to it or not. There's multiple eyewitnesses, not to mention there was a customer who was in the window waiting for their food and saw the whole thing happening, carrying a concealed weapon, and fired off a warning shot into the air to try to defuse the matter. Ended up having to jump out of his truck and wrestle her down and stop her, because once she stopped fighting, she fled the store and was going towards her car. The man who was in the window who fired off the warning shot jumped out of his vehicle and stopped her and held her at gunpoint, basically did a citizen's arrest until the police showed up. Can you believe that? Like, my God.
Your name, please, ma'am?
Oh, so it's I'm sure it's all on video. I'm sure everybody was probably filming. There's probably footage on the property from McDonald's. It's probably just a whole entire mess. I'm sure it's a mess. Absolutely. No, even though I'm saying she's probably formulating a defense, just because someone has a defense doesn't mean it's going to be successful. In her mind, I'm just giving a reason as to why she probably is not pleading guilty. Because it for some people it might not make sense. Like, everyone saw you, ma'am. Everyone saw you. You're caught on tape. You may as well just plead guilty. Well, no, she's not going to do that. She's going to make the state of Michigan and the people of Michigan spend their money and get that conviction. She's not going to I doubt she's going to just lay down and say, I'm guilty. I feel like this is what she's been waiting for. She might have wanted to get, she seems quite odd in her Instagram. she might, you know, I know it sounds crazy, but I almost feel like some people, they might just, it's almost like Koberger. Like, I almost feel like he wanted in. He wanted to go to jail. You know, he wants to go to prison. He wants to be around other killers and be around his people. You know, she might do well in prison because everyone else there, she might be surrounded with people like her, even though it sounds nuts. I mean, she's walking around here disgruntled and unhappy. She can be around other people who do like her. So that might actually make her more comfortable.
For a probable cause conference on.
Does she know what's going on? Great question. Girl, that's a great question. We don't even know. I'm just surprised that they did not just remand her into the custody. This was a cold-blooded 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:55, before 8 o'clock. People are going to work. People are dropping kids off at camp and daycare. This is the height of the summer. This is a lady who had 6 kids under her care and custody. She's the main breadwinner. The children's father's in jail. Okay. I'm just surprised she wasn't fully remanded. She was taken out at her job site at the comfort of her employment, where she is a manager with a kitchen knife. I'm trying to figure out, I know it's $25 million and that's a lot of money, and I'm sure she doesn't have it and nobody she knows is going to be able to provide it. But it's just the fact of what? I'm just surprised that it's, you know what I mean? I guess it's just the principle of the thing. I really feel like, well, damn. We know she's not going to get it, but that's besides the point. I just feel like, what constitutes a remand then? Like, come on. It wasn't even that she got stabbed in her chest, which that's still bad enough, but it seems as though she was stabbed all up in her face. And also the fact that this is the second time that this woman has been playing around with knives, where she has the police involved. This time she killed somebody. So the first time she injured someone and had a felony. Now now it's felony murder. Like, I don't know. To me, I almost feel like, because normally I'm like, oh, it's a bail hearing, they get bail. And I get it. It's a very high bail. She's not going to get it. But at the end of the day, when you look what happened with Kelly Bryant, the Pontiac mom, she got a $250 million bond, which was crazy. But, nonetheless, it was still a bond versus no bond, right? So then she was in a position to ask for lowering the bond. So she got the bond lowered to $50K. $50K was still not doable. When it went from the district court to the circuit court, it got lowered, and she's on the streets. Now, Kelly Marie Bryant is no murderer. However, she did leave 3 kids to fend for themselves that could have died. So I don't know. Anyway, all right, let's finish this up. That she gave a bond, even though it's extremely high. Sometimes when it's extremely high, by the time it gets out of district and goes to circuit, the circuit court judge might lower it. And, it could be just a matter of time before she gets something that she could actually post. But it does sound like she's on her own. She was homeless, renting a room. She may have even been living out of her car potentially, but she is dealing with some sort of homelessness or uncertain housing, and she's probably got no one to help her. But I don't know. I'm just surprised that this is the second stabbing, and this has now resulted in a horrific murder on the job site of her man. I just feel like it's easier to negotiate a lower bond when you have a bond versus being remanded into custody with absolutely no bond. Because then the fight is getting a bond over no bond, having a high bond, and then them constantly coming back and saying, Your Honor, this is tantamount to not having a bond because it's too high, and and the defendant is legally you're legally obligated, or they meet the criteria, and eventually it will get lowered, even though you have people. Remember, we were watching that guy Ronnie Walker a couple of weeks ago, and there was someone who testified who was in jail still for like $1,000. He had $1,000 bond and he couldn't get out because he was indigent. So there are people out here that no matter what the bond is, they don't even have $50 and they don't have anybody to bring them $50 to get them out. So it's really kind of a moot point, but I'm just surprised that a whole entire mother of 6 at her job, doing her job, and is the victim of workplace violence by somebody who premeditatedly came back to kill her would be offered any sort of a bond. I'm just kind of a little bit surprised.
By defendant's release, the court is, after considering all of these factors, going to be setting bond at $25 million, cash surety only, with conditions. If the defendant is able to meet those
cash and surety only
conditions, she must be on a GPS steel cuff tether. She's not to,
which would mean cash is obviously cash, and then surety would be 10%, 10 to 15%, which would be like $2.5 to $3 million. I'm sure she doesn't know anybody with that, and neither do a lot of people. So
leave the state.
I mean, I guess it's all in how you look at it. Some people could argue that, yes, it would take a while for it to be lowered to a reasonable bond that would even make sense for someone to be able to try to even come help her from where it is right now, versus not giving her one at all. And somebody would argue that she deserves to get one. But I just think cold-blooded first degree, like, really? But I know every state is different, but we've seen people. DeAndre Booker didn't get one. We know Jarvis Butts has 4 counts that he's remanded on. The ones that he's not remanded and has bonds are not the most serious offenses. The most serious offenses that Jarvis Butts has, that's in Michigan. He's remanded, no bond. So he has 6 cases. 2 have bonds on them. 4 are remanded. Also, he's doing a 3-year probation violation in the midst of all of this. So he's got 6 cases on top of the fact that he's got a 3-year sentence he's currently doing for probation violation. So he's definitely not going anywhere, no matter what. No matter, like Judge Manning says, no matter what, you're not getting out. I'm just still a little shocked at this, but I love her glasses. All right, let's go over to the Instagram because there's more that kind of unfolded over here. One of you guys brought this to my attention that I needed to give this a second look. So a second look is what I did. And sis cray, okay? Little sis, on top of trying to do magic, which if you do magic, that's your business. This chick doing magic looks very creepy, okay? She's got a fascination with knives. Remember the last person we were watching who had a fascination with knives? Remember they went over to Maxwell Anderson's house and he had 5011 knives over there? Do y'all remember that? The case of Sade Robinson? Maxwell Anderson with about 350 knives in his house all over the place? It's the blow-up mattress for me. Sis, what's going on here? A blow-up mattress is some sort of red type of textile on there. Did you catch the knife?
Nah, this stays at home though. I'm not gonna bring this to work because that wouldn't look right, I guess. But I gotta get up out of here. I gotta go to work.
Y'all, okay. I think this is what she came into work with. This is a hoodie that when you zip it all the way up, it covers your face and it looks like a Jason mask. Hold on, let's go to the. That's where, girl, she's a nut job. This was now 2 days ago. Okay, I think she went to her car and got the hoodie and came in with this foolishness. Look, abracadabra. Baby, she's scary. Does anybody have the link to the video where it shows you can see in McDonald's? I feel like I saw that somewhere. Maybe I saw it on Facebook. Let me go look for it. I'm going to let this play. Hold on. You guys probably have all seen this already, but we'll play it one more time.
Early yesterday, I got sent home early today by the same person. I'm telling you, she's a bully. This shit isn't funny. She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in the store, you know, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect. And it isn't funny at all. Like, seriously, man, I got shit I got to take care of. And she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. She's playing games. And then all day, throughout the day, she keeps sending her little racial shit. And then throughout the day, she keeps on, like, putting negative energy in the air, talking about people, gossiping about people. It's not funny, man. That shit gonna have to stop. She's a bully. I'm telling you. She's a bully. She brings a lot of negative energy in there. She always panic when there's a lot going on, and then she try to manipulate that and make it seem like we ain't doing something right, but we are working really hard and doing great. It's just the fact that she panicked, and I caught her a few times making a mistake, and she tried to hurry up and play it off. You know, nobody's perfect. It's fucking McDonald's. It happens. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, somebody might get confused. So fuck, it gets busy, yeah. But she needs to stop playing like she don't be making mistakes. I be catching her. So her, all that animosity and shit that she keep putting in the air and stuff, then trying to tell me I'm always snapping on people. No, that's false. No, I don't snap on people. I don't go in there doing that. I tell her, no, I make peace. That's what I'm doing. I've been creating peace. So all that negative energy that she's bringing in there and trying to manipulate it, no, that's going to stop. All that negative shit she's saying about, you know, her personal life, all of that. No, she's bringing all of that in there. And then playing games saying she want to take her belt off and beat somebody. Y'all act like my kids in here. No, we ain't your kids. Respect us. Stop talking to us like that. That shit is crazy. I'm telling you. But to get sent home 2 days in a row, man, and I came in on my off day to make up my time, and she still sends me home early, it's not funny. Somebody will have to do something about that. It's not funny. It's not fair. It isn't funny at all. So, you know, she could keep being a bully if she wants to, but that shit is going to catch up to her. Because it ain't
It's the butterfly sticker on her face for me. It's like, ma'am.
I got sent.
She's mad. She got sent home from work. It's like, sis.
Then one day she
check my
coming
email.
in there talking about
okay,
some,
real
yeah,
talk.
I broke my
Bougie
door in
email
half.
or which email, hun? Jay Blake, where'd you send it? Girl, yes, blank, absolutely.
I had to pull my gun out on my kids since this and that. Well, you know, telling us that, like, the fuck you telling us you pulled a gun out on your kids for? You sound like a fucking psychopath. That's what I wanted to tell her. She was talking about some, she blacked out. I'm like, yeah, you must have had blacked out if you pulled the gun out on your kids. Like, you know, like, I'm like, what the fuck you telling me this for? Like she think she's like trying to make it seem like that she big dog or some shit. Give a fuck about you telling me about you pulling the gun out on a kid. I don't fucking like that shit doesn't scare me. You know what I mean? That shit doesn't scare me. If she thought she was trying to intimidate me, that shit didn't intimidate me at all. I don't give a fuck about her telling me about some what the fuck she did. You know, and maybe that's why they always fighting her to defend themselves. They probably felt like their life was threatened. The fuck out of here with that shit.
She's so angry.
And one day she coming in there and talking about some yeah.
She's so angry. Okay, thank you for sending to me. I just got it. So this is her. I don't know if they gave her anything else, but this was her jacket so far. This is what she's got going on. She's sitting over there at the MACOMB County. I have to say it super slow because the MACOMB County Sheriff's Office, and she is being charged with first-degree murder. I don't know if they're giving her anything else at this point, but that's enough, right? But I don't know if they're giving her anything else, and I'm just surprised she still has that wig on her head. I'm shocked that they have not snatched that off her head. Not snatched it, but you guys know what I mean. I mean, figuratively, not literally, but normally they don't allow you to wear wigs and stuff because wigs can hide contraband, right? So them letting her keep that wig on her head is kind of like, oh wow, really? Okay. Okay. Let's go here. Thank you, Jay Blake. I appreciate you sending this. Let's take a look right here. We're over here on TikTok real quick. Let's see.
Update to a breaking story.
Jesus, how fast that was. You see this? Okay, but to keep your eyes out.
With an update to a breaking story we have been following the last few.
It looked like they were getting into it. Wow. They actually had a fight. Wow.
With an update to a breaking story we have been following the last few hours out of Eastpointe, where police say an employee stabbing her own manager to death. This all happening inside a McDonald's on 9 Mile.
There was some sort of verbal altercation between this manager and an employee who, incidentally, the daughter says they were friends, that they were friendly. The employee.
Right. She was sent home the day before. So we've been talking about this pretty much almost all day. This was the second time she got sent home. She, according to the investigators, they're saying that she was sent home due to not performing her work duties, but she was over here pissed. So yes, thank you, Sean. I think she's been brewing longer than just the last 2 days, but you know, for some people, a lot of people, when it starts to affect your money, that's when it gets more personal, because then it's also risking your livelihood. And I think her living situation is a bit tenuous, and she probably, like most people, need their money, right? But they're not obligated to keep you working there, and if you're not performing your job well, you might lose your job. So let's finish watching the rest of this. I wanted to, where are we? Okay. There was another situation that happened that you probably have seen too, that we could talk about real quick also.
He goes home, according to police, gets a knife, comes back, stabs the manager. We've learned her name is Jennifer Harris, 39 years old, 6 children, a single mom, working here for 15 years, stabs her to death. And then somebody in the drive-thru, this is happening in the area of where the employees are working in the drive-thru section of the fast food restaurant.
Where they make the drinks.
Somebody going through the drive-thru, a CPL holder, sees everything happen. He shoots his gun in the air to try to stop everything. Unfortunately, he is not successful in doing so. But as the suspect is running out of the McDonald's, the police say that the man with the gun actually ran after her and held her at gunpoint until police arrived.
Hey guys,
Okay. All right. Did you guys hear about what's going on with she's 17, Sarah Grace? Is it Sarah Grace Patrick? This whole thing. Let's watch this. We're not going to get all the way into it, but there is I believe she may have been, she's a teenager, and her mother and stepfather were killed in the house. 5-year-old found the parents in the room, and played it like she had no idea what happened. She's 17 years old now, and they have just arrested her for the murder of her mother and her stepfather. She was walked in by her biological father. They had warrants for her arrest. They have been investigating her for quite some time, and her name is Sarah Grace Patrick. She has a bunch of TikToks where she is like playing that she's super upset, while also, just not, according to the police, definitely giving red flags. So listen to this detective. They're talking about it, but some of this stuff played out on TikTok. It's very strange.
Sergeant Kim Hope, who's over our crimes against persons unit, who has led a phenomenal investigation and really brought everything together. And then, of course, Lieutenant Jackson Lawrence, who also has kind of been a pivotal part of this investigation as well, making sure that everything's arranged and everything is flowing like it should. So as you all remember, I recognize many of you in this room that did come out on the scene that fateful day on February 20th. On the morning of February 20th, 2025, deputies with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office responded to a tragic scene at 1531 Carrollton Tyus Road. They discovered the bodies of James Brock, 45, and Kristen Brock, 41, both deceased from apparent gunshot wounds. From the very moment the 911 call was received, a relentless investigation began, one that would span months, consume thousands of man hours, and require the full weight of the local and federal law enforcement agency partnerships. Today, we can confirm that an arrest has been made in the case. Kristen Brock's 17-year-old daughter, Sarah Grace Patrick, has been taken into custody and charged with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault in connection with the deaths of her mother and her stepfather. While the case has not remained in the public spotlight in recent months, the investigation has never gone silent. Led by investigator TJ Repetto, our team has pursued every lead, sifted through mountains of physical and digital evidence, conducted countless interviews, and collaborated with agencies such as the FBI, the GBI Crime Lab, and private forensic laboratories. In a world where television portrays crimes being solved in under an hour, the truth here is much more complex. Real justice takes time. Time to ensure that no detail is overlooked and no stone is not turned over. Sheriff Terry Langley, alongside Captain Guy Pope and Lieutenant Jackson Lawrence, has remained committed to ensuring that justice is served in this heartbreaking case. Their leadership, combined with the tireless dedication of our investigators, has brought us to this point today. We know the public has been eager for answers, and we want to be clear. So have we. But bringing forth the truth responsibly and thoroughly is our highest obligation. We are proud of the unwavering commitment shown by every member of the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, and we stand behind the process that has led us here today. Our prayers remain with the families of James and Kristen Brock, and especially with their young daughter who was home during this horrific crime. We also want to extend our heartfelt thanks to the community that has rallied for justice and has never given up hope. The pursuit of justice does not end today, however. It is very possible, because this remains an open and ongoing investigation, that more arrests and charges could be made. So with that, I will open this up to questions.
Has she been charged as an adult?
She has.
And any idea what her motive was that she made the confession?
We are still working with her diligently. Our investigators have been speaking with her.
It is correct that she was the one who made the 911 call, correct?
Yes.
At what point did investigators begin to focus on her as the suspect?
So I believe in the beginning of any case, everyone's a suspect. I think I told many of you that when we were on scene that day. However, as an investigation continues and everything ebbs and flows, like I said in my press release, mountains of evidence has gotten us through here today. Lots of processing, lots of working with our law enforcement partners to get us to where we are today, that honed in on her as a suspect.
Do you believe that she tried to
cover this up in any way over the course of these months? You know, we've even seen some videos on social media of somebody saying, you know, I'm making this message on behalf of the daughter. Do you believe she tried to get people to cover up anything?
Considering that she didn't just immediately tell us what happened, yes. But who knows what's going on in a young person's mind like that. But she has been arrested and charged now, and we feel confident that she is responsible for their murders. But like I said, it is an open, ongoing investigation. It's very possible others are involved as well.
What was the key break in the case?
Just evidence, being able to go through evidence, being able to use private laboratories, being able to use GBI Crime Lab. You know, when you're processing stuff, like I said, it doesn't come back in an hour. So we've been filtering through, and there's still evidence left to process.
You noted the digital evidence. I assume that's text messages, emails. Was there some type of a trail that led you that way?
There's always a lot of evidence. I won't go into exactly what it is because it is an open, ongoing investigation, but we have mountains of evidence.
What about the social media, the TikTok, that type of stuff? Any of that going to be used?
That will be up to the prosecuting attorney, and they'll work diligently with our investigators to make the case go forward towards trial or whatever they decide to do.
Was that the youngest child that found them?
I believe that, and you speak to this, Kim, the smallest daughter found them that morning, correct? And then she came and told Sarah, and then Sarah made the 911 call.
Where was Sarah?
Sarah was in the home.
No, I mean, in the interim, where was she? Who was she living with?
She's 17. She's kind of been out on her own.
Was she out on her own at the time?
No, she lived at home with her mother and stepfather at that time. But since then, she's lived with different family members and kind of moved all over the place.
Did she turn herself in?
Yes, she did turn herself in this morning.
Do you believe that any of the other family members knew about this?
Hard to tell. I can say this, that everybody that we have talked to through the course of the investigation that are family members have been nothing but cooperative. Anything else?
Did you do anything after the murder during the investigation that you guys will use in your
Like I said, we're still kind of putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, but I can tell you what led us here today, and that's the evidence that Sarah killed her parents.
Did you say why she turned herself in?
She turned herself in because we notified her she had warrants for her arrest.
Did she have any previous charges, any previous calls to that house regarding?
Not that I'm aware of, not regarding her, not that I'm aware of.
Did she seem remorseful?
I have not been personally with her or interviewed her, so I could not answer that question.
I know this is shocking for her family as well.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get any kind of, were they shocked? What surprised them?
Like I said, her family's been very cooperative. I can't imagine as a parent her father brought her up here this morning. She turned herself in. I can't imagine what he's going through. So my heart goes out to him as well.
You talked about the family. I know they've been trying their best to keep this.
I mean, parents know. You know what I mean? They know when you're lying. You know what I mean? Parents can always tell. I'm sure it was probably really difficult for her dad, but I seem to think that maybe the boyfriend was involved, but I have nothing to prove that. But she did have a boyfriend, and allegedly they broke up, but they picked him up for something like drag racing or something. I don't know if he offered up information on her. I don't know if she confessed to her dad. Whatever reason she did it, she has to be, I would think, would be regretting it now that she did something like this, because that's another. But if you've seen this picture, you may not have seen her yet, but this young girl right here, Sarah Grace Patrick, I think she just graduated from high school, a mess. And she is 17 years old, and she's being charged with 2 double murder. Let me let this finish. It's only got like a couple more minutes, and then I'll let y'all go.
Yes. You guys are working behind this.
Yes.
I guess it takes, especially for a case this big, it takes a lot of time to make sure the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. I mean,
Yes.
you speak to that because they were seeming like on the media they were frustrated, but it takes a lot.
Yeah, and we understand. I mean, if you don't work in the law enforcement field, like I said, CSI's kind of tainted us where, hey, something happens, it's done in an hour. This is not the case. I mean, and not only that, don't you want the right person arrested? So that's why it takes so long. These diligent investigators took their time. We've got the person that we believe orchestrated this and committed this horrific crime, and that was played through the part of evidence, and that's not something that's processed overnight.
you know where the weapon was obtained from?
I can't speak to that right now. Still investigation. Say that again.
Younger child, how old is she?
She is 6 years old now.
Who has custody over?
She's staying with family.
Can you speak to like just how heinous this is?
Oh, it's absolutely a shock to our community. Carroll County is a great community. We very rarely have stranger on stranger crime here, so I would like to say that we're not a dangerous community. I know that the Tice community that this happened in, those neighbors were really up in arms, as they should have been. Like I said, this has been a process to get us to where we're at today, but we don't know what goes through the mind of a child who wants to harm their parents. So that I can't answer right now, but it is a very horrific and sad case.
Was there any evidence of any type of, I don't want to say abuse, but challenges in the home?
Still an ongoing investigation.
That for anybody, you know, who worked on this case, I don't know if there's ever been any other case like this in any of your careers, or if this is one of the few, but just when the facts, as you say, lead you to this conclusion, is it difficult, or what is that like just as a human, kind of when you follow the facts?
You know, anytime you work a case where somebody's life has been cut short, you know, James is a special case because I believe, according to his family, you know, he had a lot of heart trouble. He'd had numerous heart surgeries. I believe he may have been waiting on a heart transplant at some point. And to have his life cut short when he was given so many opportunities to live, to me, that's a big takeaway from this story. And that a mother and a stepfather will never be able to raise their children and the little girl that would.
I feel like she was saying it from a standpoint of the anomaly of someone coming into the community or someone who these people did not know being the culprit is not as typical as if something were to happen and you know who your assailant was, like family on family, like cousins or brothers or neighbors type of thing. Not just a random stranger coming in, no signs of entry, no signs of busting in a door. People were just caught off guard in their bedroom. So that's what seems to potentially have happened, which is what happened and would explain, you know, would explain it. Yeah, but family on family is common though, you know, that happens, especially when it's super hot. Just entertain me for a second. When it's super duper hot, and also around the holidays when temperatures are very uncomfortable, and then also when it's like strenuous times around money, you see like weird arguments happening with family.
In the home, to me, she's probably the saddest victim in all of this.
You know, you did mention she didn't turn herself in. You said she was turned in with her father.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. I'll be around after if you have any additional questions.
I'm sure this won't be the last that we are hearing of this. There's a bunch of stuff on TikTok. She posts a lot on TikTok. She was pretending to be, I don't want to say pretending, but she was putting on a good show of not knowing anything about the murders. Let's say it like that. That's Lambo. Who you were hearing before was Portia. Lambo's bark is very deep and very throaty. You can tell Lambo sounds like a big dog. He's like 4 times the size of Portia. But who you were here, that was just Portia. When you hear like the heavier, throatier, deeper bark, that's Lambo. Girl crying, mascara dribbling down her face, and you want me to go to her? I don't think her TikTok is off. I mean, her on. I feel like the TikTok that I'm seeing now are TikTok videos that people copied. I don't see her TikTok, like her specific TikTok address. Hold on. Hold on. I feel like I reposted something. Did I? No. Okay, let me find it. It's S Grace, right? S Grace. I don't know. I don't think this is her TikTok, but these are her TikToks, but not her TikTok, if that makes sense. So someone copied her feed. I wonder if they took her TikTok down.
For those of you I'm and James Brock's stepdaughter. This isn't easy. I don't know how Ben and Angie do this all the time, but I'm really happy I get to do this. But just bear with me because I stutter a lot. I just wanted to say goodbye to my mom and Jamie since we never got the chance to. I was so used to you guys always being here to the point that I never once thought to imagine y'all not being here. I didn't have a single clue how much I needed y'all until now. For James, thank you for all the life lessons you taught me and for being the best honest dad ever. Your heart will finally be healed in heaven and neither of y'all will be in any pain anymore. Although that gives me so much comfort, your fight was not supposed to end there. And for my mother, everything we went through does not define what kind of person or what kind of mother you were. You were a beautiful, kind soul with so much gratitude. And so, gosh dang strong.
I'm going to be honest. I think she was probably a selfish brat. I think she probably is a kid who mom married somebody and I think she was mad mom got married. I think she's mad mom had a baby. And also the man mom married had heart problems or medical issues. So marriage put her behind. The man's illness put her behind that. It also put her behind having a baby sister. I don't think the obvious, what was going on in the house, was he abusive, was he this or that? I think she might just be a bad seed. She just might be a bad kid, a spoiled kid, entitled kid. And also obviously there's got to be some mental ticky boom boom in that brain of hers to think that that is the solution. Because anybody who thinks murder and killing is a solution, you're an outlier. You're not, that's not normal. Okay? Killing someone is not the rational solution to anything. It's a very special set of circumstances that makes it justifiable, right? Ever. So something I just think that's just my first take, and I could be wrong. I don't have to be right. That's just my gut feeling on that because I don't think that I just don't think that there was anything else.
So many life lessons and so many just recently taught me within the letter you sent to James in 2018. When I first read it, I smiled and I cried and I got chill bumps. But every single time I read it, it puts me to a lot of peace. So I thought I'd share it. May 23rd, 2018, Deuteronomy 6:5. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. The wrong one will find you in peace and leave you in pieces, but the right one will find you in pieces and leave you in peace. We can't always choose the music that life plays for us, but you can choose how we dance to it. She was always dancing to her own beat, LOL. And keep in mind, she wrote that herself. Eventually, all the pieces fall into place, but until then, laugh at the confusion, live for the moment, and know that everything happens for a reason. I can choose to let it define me, confine me, refine me, outshine me, or I can choose to move on and leave it behind me. Always, Kristen Brock. Considering that gave me so much closure, I want to remember them for who they were and not what happened to them, and be happy for the time we got to spend together and not sad about the time that we don't. I may always and will always be her sunshine, but she will always be my star from up above. And I know at nighttime I can go and look at Mama and Jamie in the sky, and gladly they will see me a seat in heaven like they say Gladly they will save a seat for me in heaven, like they'd saved a seat for me in this very church. Although there's nothing we can do to bring them back, we still have control over how we treat people with us today. Therefore, when someone tries to tell you anything, no matter how important it could be, just listen, because you never know when it's somebody's time to go. You could say goodnight and wake up a few hours just to find out they aren't there to spread their joy and their love. So just listen and never take a hug or anyone or anything for granted, and love with all that you have in you like they did.
Oh, my bad, y'all. So she reached out to Abby Blabby, another TikToker, and asked her to look into the case. Abby Blabby did a couple TikToks. She's like, guys, you're not going to believe this. Like, I got a message, a DM from her, and she was asking me to look into her parents' murder. Sis, this little girl's ridiculous. Okay.
I get to feeling guilty and I
Who knows the reason why she did what she did? I mean, we just can't even account for it. Now, the boyfriend is in jail, they say for drag racing or something unrelated to the murder, but I would not be surprised if they put a little heat or pressure on him to find something out. Oh, he had synthetic manufacture and distribute controlled substances, manufacture, distribute, possession with the intent, improper stopping on a roadway. I heard that he had some other stuff going on, but okay, so what was this? One, some say that Jackson turned Sarah in for murdering her parents, and that's how he is about to get out of jail so quickly after being arrested. So let's see. So they're saying that he may have turned her in. Number two, some say they broke up and she was dating another guy but was still obsessed with him. Number three, some believe he was involved or knew about what she had done. They did say that they might be arresting more people. Daughter charged after mother and stepfather shot to death inside Carroll County home. Boom. What do you believe? I don't believe anything. I don't know. I don't believe anything. We just know the parents are gone. The daughter's arrested, the boyfriend's arrested, and not everybody has told their stories yet. So anyway, guys, I'm not going to hold y'all. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm sure we'll be talking about this and many more. You guys have sent me like so many stories in the past 24 hours. There's a bunch more stuff to follow up on. So just bear with me. I'm trying to get through everything and look stuff up and have some additional information for you guys. So just bear with me. I might come back later tonight. If I don't, you know why. But there's so many more stories to catch up on. Some states where you can't really look up a whole bunch of dockets and things like that, we might talk about the story and circle back when something else comes up. But some of the states where there's more information available and we can see dockets and court papers, court filings and things like that, makes it more interesting so we can kind of understand what's really going on. But there's a few things that happened in Maryland that were pretty interesting, but Maryland is so hard to get into the docket and see what's going on. It's so much more helpful at least for me, and I'm sure for you guys too, to be able to really understand the case and get a police report and read the complaints and all of the things. And as the things are progressing, the filings, it's so much more interesting. So anyway, I'm sure you guys agree. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let y'all go. Make sure to hit the thumbs up for me if you're not subscribed and you enjoy content like this. Make sure to subscribe, set your notifications, and I'll see you again a little bit later. If you don't catch me later, I do have a video that I will be putting up later. It's not going to be super long. It's the Kelly Bryant update. She had court yesterday, and they are moving towards pretrial. So it was a pretrial conference yesterday. Her case moved from the district court to the circuit court, so she's got a whole different judge now, which is why she's out on bail. And they're talking pretrial, and they were also talking about a motion that had been filed to quash I think her child abandonment charge. Like they wanted to, they wanted to basically, they were trying to get the whole case thrown out, and the judge denied it. Judge was like, no. Anyway, I'll let you guys, I'll be putting that up soon. Okay. Let's say like, maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock. Okay. So I'll see you guys definitely later. If I don't come back live. Okay. All right, guys. You guys take care. If I forgot anything, let me know. I love how you do all the research on the stories. Yeah, I like to try to get at least, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we can all watch a news story. You guys don't need me for that, but I like to try to at least get some additional information, or at least we'll have a conversation about it. But these are some terrible times we're in, unfortunately. It's sad that some of these kids and just people in general, because, look at Coburg. I mean, there's so many people. It spans the ages. You've got people who are very young into big age people who should know better, who should have more resources than to think that murdering is the answer. But it's unfortunate. But yeah. Okay, guys. I will see you guys a little bit later. If there's anything I'm forgetting, let me know. I do have a couple scammer cases too, to talk to you guys about. So, everything's not just all, but that's what seems to consume. That's what seems to be in the feeds. I mean, people are acting up out here. They are acting up and they are showing out. Anyway, guys, I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye, guys.